Hey everybody, welcome. Sorry it's taken me a few minutes here to come on in and say hi. I was waiting for the notification to let me know I was indeed live. If you are just coming on in, welcome. My name is Timmy and I am an independent designer and master mentor with Chalk Couture. And I'm super excited to be back with you again this week. Last week, if you joined on in on Monday night, I had just gotten back from a really awesome conference, a Chalk Couture conference for leaders. And, oh, I'm going to turn off this so we don't hear me twice. I had told you I was planning to go live 7 days straight and give you some project ideas. And the next day I came down with the flu. So I am finally feeling well enough to be back on camera and back to talking, and I'm super excited to be here. So I apologize that I hadn't been able to hold to my plan of going live 7 days in a row, but I am going to try to make up for that with some great projects I have on tap for you this week. A combination of things that will be live and also will be video. So if you want to be notified about when it is I am going live, I would love it if you would just take a minute to like my page. That will give you notifications when I'm posting, when I'm going live, when I have videos going. So feel free to go ahead and do that. That would be great. Also, if you're watching and you think that you know someone who might enjoy this as well, I'd love it if you shared this video. That's really one of the greatest compliments you can pay me. That is, sharing my video with others. So if you enjoy watching me and you think others might too, feel free to go ahead and share. And then lastly, I would say, if you're really loving all this and really would love more ideas or would really just like to get in on some specials and deals that I offer, then be sure to request to join my VIP group. That is my Style Innovators group, so you can see the link for that right here on my Chalk Couture business page here on Facebook. And you can request to join. If you can't find it, just go ahead and type join in the comments, whether you're watching me live or you're watching me on the replay. No worries, I will see those comments, so go ahead and feel free to let me know that you'd like to join that group. I actually have a very special live sale going on this coming weekend, and it's only for members of my Style Innovators group. So if you're interested in getting some specials and deals, that's the place to go. It's also kind of my insiders group. It kind of gives me a chance to give you some inside scoop on things that are happening. And there's lots coming up in Chalk Couture over the next couple of weeks that you're not going to want to miss. So feel free to join that group and let me know what you think. So tonight, as you know, we are working on a tray, and I'm going to show you that tray here in just a sec. I'm going to scoot that over. There we go. And I'm going to remove this here for the moment, get that out of the way. And this tray is a tray that I picked up from one of my favorite home stores that I just heard the sad news that they're going to be closing in our town, which I'm really sad about. It's one of my favorite places to go. It's not that I shop there all the time, but I usually find some interesting things that I love kind of jazzing up a little. And this tray is an example of that. So this tray came exactly as you see here. So it's kind of already got a nice rusticy farmhouse feel. But I really felt like it could use a little dressing up. And so when I grabbed this tray, honestly, I wasn't exactly sure what it was I was going to do with it. But then I got inspired by our bed and breakfast transfer. And I thought, I have a feeling that we could put some really cute things on here. And this would really bring this tray up just a notch. So my plan tonight is to use this bed and breakfast transfer to kind of bring up this farmhouse tray really to the next level. So before we start actually chalking on this tray, I want to take a minute and talk to you a little bit about wax. So this is finishing wax. It's just something I got at one of the home improvement stores. It's nothing fancy. You can find it in any of your home improvement stores or craft stores. It's just a finishing wax, and I like to use the finishing wax on wood projects like this before I chalk them. And there's always the question I get from folks about, when do I have to wax? Do I have to wax? What does wax do? How long do I have to wait when I put the wax on? So I figured, you know what, let's start our conversation here tonight about that. So you'll notice that I am using a natural, a clear finishing wax. So really all this is doing, and I got a little gunk here in the corner that I want to pull out. All I'm really doing is spreading this wax across the areas where I am going to put my silkscreen transfer. And when I decide to wax, it's usually because the surface is maybe a little rough, and I want to make sure that when I go to lift up the transfer, I will be able to lift it up without stretching or pulling that transfer. Hey, I see Nancy is with us and Carrie are with us. Welcome. Carrie's asking, if I wax a non-Chalk Couture item, can you wash off the chalk? Not really, honestly, but I would say that, like when we went to go make our porch signs, I purchased some wood that I painted or stained, depending on which one I used. And then I did use the finishing wax over it. And what I found when people were working with it was it gave them a little wiggle room. So can you wash it off if you make a mistake immediately after? Yes. Will it wash off an hour, a day, a month later? No. So the wax does give you a little bit of wiggle room when you're working on wood. So if that's something that appeals to you, then I would definitely say that's a good reason to use wax. Now, wax really doesn't need to go on any of our chalkboard surfaces that Chalk Couture sells. I have occasionally come across some chalkboard surfaces that probably would have been beneficial to wax, because maybe they're more like slate. And so in that case, you want to make sure that when you are putting your transfer down on the surface of the item that you're going to be chalking, that you won't pull up any of the surface with your screen. That's really what you want to do. We're trying to protect our screens. That's really the bottom line, because as you may know, our silkscreen transfers are reusable, and I want to make sure that I give you tips so that you can make sure that you can use these as much as possible. Now, our company, Chalk Couture, usually recommends that you can expect to use your silkscreen transfers about 8 to 10 or so times. Now, what really limits your ability to use them more than that is the adhesive that is on the back of these transfers. So I am opening up here our bed and breakfast transfer here, and I'm using these thin white lines here to guide where I should be cutting apart this transfer. So if you got a transfer from us and you see that it has white lines, it means it's multiple pieces, and you can cut out on those white lines so that you can work with these pieces individually. Now, when I'm cutting while the transfer is actually still on its backer sheet. So on the back of every transfer is a white backer sheet and a carrier sheet. And that's what that's what protects your transfer, really. Hey, Beth, nice to have you here. When we are not using our transfer, we can use these carrier sheets really as a way to store our transfer and keep them protected. Because as I said, our transfers have a sticky or an adhesive back, and that allows us to be able to make sure that they stay put on the surface where we're putting the screen, and it won't move around on us. But it also means that if you're using it on a surface that could pull up, then waxing is a good option. So in most cases, I would say there are, and when it comes to the Chalk Couture surfaces, I find for the most part, I don't really have to worry about waxing. But it never necessarily hurts to wax either. So keep that in mind as you're looking at your surfaces and trying to decide, do I wax or do I not wax? It really is a little bit on your comfort level and the surface that you're using. So now you'll see, I just put that on. It's not even been probably 5 minutes, and it is really all set and ready for me to go ahead and chalk on it. You don't have to let it dry overnight or anything like that. It's not sticky, it's not wet. It just leaves a nice light, fine layer of wax, which will make it a lot easier to pull our transfer up when we are ready. So when I decided I wanted to use this transfer, I really was thinking I could fit bed and breakfast on this tray, but guess what? I can't. So I can do one of two things. One is I could shorten. I could get bed in here and maybe shorten this, move this over, and then still maybe be able to get this on. But I think I'm gonna put it aside for now and not use that piece. You can mix and match these pieces and use them however you want. So I think what I'm going to do is make it pretty simple. I'm going to use this gorgeous rooster. Isn't he cute? And then I think I'm going to use the Be Our Guest maybe right over him. And then we've got this little embellishment that I think would look really cute here. So that's, oh, and there's a second one. So I think we'll put one on this side and then one on this side. That's kind of my plan. So we'll see what that looks like. So because we're going to be overlapping a little bit and layering, we're going to want to put down our bottom layer first, and then we can then chalk over it. So one of the cool things, as you probably know if you've watched them before, is that these silkscreen transfers can go on any surface. Now, when you first open them up and use them for the first time, and they're going on a surface that that might be a little sticky, you want to just fuzz that transfer a bit, just so that, again, it's going to make it easy for you to pull up that transfer after you've chalked it, and you won't ruin you won't risk stretching that transfer. Oh my goodness. I might be done with the flu, but I still have flu mouth apparently. I can't quite get all my words out today. So what I've done is I've just used my fingers to press down and to make sure that there's no air bubbles into this screen area. So this area where we're seeing in white is where the chalk is going to adhere, and that's the design that's going to be left. So all this green area here is adhesive. So that's what's keeping our transfer from moving around. So just kind of go over it with your finger and make sure that you've got a really good adherence to your surface, and then you'll know it's all set to go. Now, probably one of the things that's hardest is choosing colors. I don't know about you, but it's definitely one of the trickiest things, I think, because I wanted to try to keep this feeling farmhousey. I've pulled some interesting color options here. Of course, I've got my standard black velvet. I also have Greige, which is kind of a nice light gray, really cute for a farmhouse option. And then I pulled out my Mauvelous. This is actually one of the newer colors that came into the line this season, and I just really thought together that these would look really interesting together. So my thought is that I'm going to go with the gray for our rooster. And then I might use some black here for down below. And I think for our Be a Guest, I am going to just put some light color here. And then we'll have to decide what we want to do with these guys. Do we want to bring in another color, or do we do mauve? So if you've got some thoughts about that, let me know. It might be really nice to pick up this mauve. I'm not sure. So give me some thoughts as I'm getting ready here. And there's one other thing that I was going to recommend, and that is that we have some, looking for my placement tape. See if I have a piece here in my stash. I have plenty of placement tape downstairs, but I did not bring it upstairs, did I? I don't think I did. So placement tape, what that will do is it will just give me a little bit of wiggle room here if I wanted to make this a different color. So that's what I was thinking, like, how can I save myself here a little bit? And placement tape would do the trick. If I could, oh, you might have just saw my, hope you didn't see my daughter walk by. She was getting ready for her shower. All right, no placement tape nearby, but that's all right, because you know what? We can compromise. I have a couple of these little guys. I think these will work. The joy of working with your desk nearby, right? So if I do this, that will give me a little wiggle room here, so that when I go to chalk, I don't have to worry about this getting stuck. Hey, Rebecca Cole, I haven't seen you in a long time. How are you? Are you going to Couture Tours with us again in March? If you are, we'd love to see you. Now this is, of course, isn't very sticky because there's only these little tabby things. So I'm compromising here. I feel a little like MacGyver. Here we go. I'm just going to stick there down. Ah, look at that. See? Oh. All right. Maybe my MacGyver trick isn't working. That's all right. No biggie. We will make this work. Okay, so we decided we were going to go with our Mauvelous here. And we were going to do some black down here. So let's start with our Mauvelous. So first open up your chalk paste container. Give it a nice stir. Isn't this a beautiful color? Look at that. Really farmhousey, I think, feel with a little bit of an interesting pink tint. So, unusual color maybe for a rooster, but you know what? This is farmhouse, and I am going to make this a little bit different. It's all right. It's all good. And I'm just going to be really careful to try to not get this on. I think that would pretty much do it. There. Hey, that worked. All right, squeegee off the excess. And just so that I don't have to worry here about the drying, I'm going to use the chalk and pull method. And that means that I'm just going to pull this up past the area that I just chalked. Look at that. Isn't that a beautiful color? Isn't that great? And then I'm just going to lay this back down again. And now I'm ready to go ahead and do this. Now I originally said this was going to be black, but I'm changing my mind. I think this we're going to use the Greige, this light gray. And then that Be Your Guest, we're going to use the black. We're going to let that really stand out. So again, just give it a good stir. If you're just opening your chalk paste and maybe hasn't been used for a while, don't worry. You can easily reconstitute it with a little bit of water. If you don't have our Mr. Bottle Spray, it is definitely one of the best. It's got a great spray, nice fine spray that works really well and just delivers the right amount of water. So notice, since I waxed it, it's really pulling up super easy, and that's what we wanted. We wanted to make sure that this transfer pulled up really easily without ruining our transfer. That's the whole gig behind waxing. You just want to make sure that you're doing it so to protect that transfer so you can use it over and over again. And that's it, right? We're going to lift this up now fully. Look at how beautiful that just peels right back, right? So I didn't have to worry about that causing any problems. Hey, Nan. I know we need to get together, so I promise we will definitely make a date. As you can tell, my voice is not totally back to being perfect, so I do need a little rest before I do some more activity, but we will be in touch for sure. So we've got this beautiful Mauvelous and now Greige. Beautiful colors together, don't you think? And then we need to let this dry before we put on our next layer. Now, before we put on this layer of black, I come back and need your help here. I need your help deciding about these cute little greens. Do we want to make them green, or do we want to keep it in the gray, pink, black? What do you think? Adding one more color or not? Any votes? All right, I know you probably need some ideas for colors. So let me grab two options that I was considering. And that is Sage or Eucalyptus. They're pretty close in color. Not even sure if there's going to be a huge difference here. Let's see, I'll bring them up a little closer to you so you can see. So I think the Eucalyptus is a little grayer, where the Sage is a little greener. And I think, all right, Beth, Sage. Yes, oh, you think it should be green too, huh? All right, so I have a vote for Sage. So for those of you that may not have seen these before, these are our chalk paste singles. So we sell our chalk paste in these 3-ounce containers, which they last forever, which they're awesome. But we also have these single-use packets. And they come in a variety of colors. And at the beginning of February, when we release our new spring line, we're actually going to have, little spoiler alert here for you, we're going to have every color that is available in our chalk paste available in the singles, including our shimmers. So if you've been waiting to be able to have the single-use packets in the shimmers, you're in luck, because on February 3rd they will start to be available. The other thing that we're going to make available are these little color trays, and I kind of am really excited about these. These little color trays are going to be awesome for our single-use packs. And why are they so helpful? Well, When you get your single-use packs, sometimes you'll find that they're a little thick. Very normal, because you know what? This is just a tiny little bit of paste. So I always start by kneading my packet, and this feels like it's pretty soft in here. So I might be able to just rip open this container and squirt out just a tiny bit of chalk paste into the tray. I don't need that much, and quite honestly, I might even be able to put a little paper clip on this and save the rest for another day. But now I have a great little palette to work from. And sometimes when you open them, this chalk paste maybe needs a little water just to make it really nice and easy to spread, because that's really what we want. We want to make sure that these chalk pastes are really easy to spread. If they're thick, then it's going to be really hard to spread over your screen, and it's going to dry faster. So these little trays are little plastic trays. They're washable, and you're going to be able to reuse them just washing them up. So great little new accessory that is becoming available also at the first of the year. So be on the lookout for that. Now I think I'm going to put my, and there, that's pretty dry, so you'll see I just gave it a little touch, and I do have a little, what do I have on my, I have a little, trying to decide exactly if I want to overlap these a little. Yeah, let's try that. What do you think? I do have a sorry, you're like, what is she talking about? I have a fuzzing cloth here on my lap. That's what I have on my lap. And so I could just use this and spread a little blob. And then of course use my squeegee. This is the mini squeegee to spread the chalk paste over the screen. So as you can see, we did not use very much at all. Still have plenty in there, and we are done. So pull these up. Oh yeah, that is pretty. I think that sage was a nice choice. So thank you, Elizabeth, for giving me that suggestion. Very sweet. So that's it, right? So we've added that in. We need this to dry just a few more minutes, and then we can add in our Be Our Guest. You know, when I was talking about putting it up here, but I'm almost thinking it might look pretty cool down here. What do you think? Sometimes, you know, you have an idea of what you're going to do, and then you get right in the middle of it and you change your mind, or at least I do. Not unusual for me. So I think this is where I might like this. And now I'm kind of thinking I like this green here too, that maybe the Be Our Guest would look really nice in green as well. And just again making sure this is adhered to our board. And I think we're going to keep going with this green. I think this is going to be a really nice spring feel. And that's one of the great things, honestly, about working with Chalk Couture is there is no right or wrong way, a right or wrong color combination. It really is what it is that you like and what works for you and in your home. And sometimes, you know what, you may not know, like, hey, is this color combination going to work? Well, that's what you have me for. I'm happy to test it out for you or give you some color suggestions when you're making decisions about what to order. Or, you know what, you can just wing it. Part of what's really awesome is when you're using our chalk paste on our chalkboard surfaces, you know, you can wash them off. with just water. So if you don't like how it came out, you can simply erase it and do it again, right? Isn't that awesome? And here we go. Peel that back. And there we go. Be our guest. I love it. I wasn't really sure what direction I was going in when I first started this, but I think this turned out quite nice. So look how easy that was to just add a little extra flair to this. Now this would look really great in your guest room, maybe to put on your bed when you have people over. It's a great place to put out some water bottles or some towels for them to use while they're staying with you. What a great little gift idea for people, maybe for Mother's Day or for engagements, even Valentine's Day. Wouldn't it be cute? So I hope that you enjoyed learning how you can really embellish and really transform something that's kind of boring or drab into something more fun and more interesting. And it's really just super simple, just a little bit of chalk paste, a design of your choice, and you can really transform anything in just a matter of minutes. So if you like this project, be sure to check out my website at chalkcouture.com/Timmy, T-I-M-I. I'm Timmy, a Chalk Couture designer and master mentor with Chalk Couture. And I love sharing all about how you can transform your home decor with chalk. And if you think what I'm doing looks like fun and you want to know more about becoming a Chalk Couture designer, let me know. I'd be happy to share with you about what that's all about. Nancy, it was great to have you. Oh, I love you. I love you, my friend. I'm glad you are here. Please feel free to let me know. And of course, if you are interested in seeing more of this, be sure to like my page. I'd love it again if you were to share it with your friends, if you think they would be interested. And lastly, of course, be sure to request to join my VIP group if you're not a member yet. It's called the Style Innovators Group. And it's in there where I offer some great specials, some bundles, and some good deals. I have a great sale going on this weekend that you don't want to miss. So be sure to check that out. But in the meantime, go ahead and check out all the awesome design options that are available currently. You can see them all on my website and order directly from there. So until next time, everybody, have a great night. Thanks for joining me today. Take care. Bye.